What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE's huge regret at having Chris Jericho on their show, Nia Jax's Twitter meltdown, John Cena winning a match with an NXT superstar, Ryback's epic failure, why the WWE released Samoa Joe, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's do the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, our first story looks at WWE caused a huge spike in AEW's ratings. A current AEW star, Chris Jericho's recent appearance on the WWE Network's Broken Skull sessions surprised many fans and industry commentators given the fierce rivalry between the two companies of AEW and WWE. But now there's rumors that Mr. McMahon is regretting his decision to let Jericho appear. According to Dave Meltzer, AEW Dynamite's big ratings on 15th April, which saw the show bring in over 1.2 million viewers and landing a 0.44 rating in the much desired 18 to 49 age demographic, may have been due to Jericho's appearance on the episode of Broken Skull Sessions, which aired the night after WrestleMania. According to Meltzer, the WWE didn't have to run the episode that night, but likely hoped to pop a rating. However, did things backfire by Jericho's talk of AEW bringing in WWE viewers? Well, furthermore, Meltzer speculated that Vinnie Mac might not have future endeavored a number of superstars if he knew how big AEW's ratings would be, that being viewership doubling from the previous weeks. Meltzer brings up some good points, but it's important to remember that Dynamite aired with no competition from NXT, which no doubt helped the ratings. However, just how many viewers who normally tune into NXT checked out Dynamite because they wanted their Wednesday night wrestling fix, and how many new viewers turned into Jericho's WWE Network appearance? If Vince McMahon feels it's the latter, don't expect to see any AEW stars in WWE ever again. Next up, Nia Jax Twitter meltdown. It looks like Nia Jax could star in a sequel to Paige's Fighting With My Family, as Jax just launched a digital diatribe on Twitter about herself and her family. I'm so sick of trying to humble and hold my tongue. It's your own family that is quick to stab you in the back. People may not know, but Tamina Snuka is loved and respected by fans, and most importantly by our family. I'm the black sheep, outcast, the embarrassment. I stopped trying to gain any approval from the family a long time ago. I realized it was pointless. The only one I thought I could count on is Tamina Snuka. I was wrong. My partner Shayna Baszler has been there more for me in this business than my family has. That's the truth. F this family. They say blood is thicker than water, but I remember plenty of times when water was there and blood wasn't. And Jax isn't holding back, but is this a work or Nia's real life feelings? Jax, who currently holds the Women's Tag Team Championship with Shayna Baszler, might be using social media to hype the Champions program against Natalya and Tamina Snuka. When you consider that WWE regulates its superstar social media accounts, this seems more like a work. If you don't think so, consider these tweets from Tamina Snuka. I'm sorry that you feel that way, Nia Jax. The pain that you're feeling in the back, though, isn't from your family stabbing you in it. It's actually pain radiating from your neck struggling to balance that big head of yours. You're not the black sheep of the family. We love you. That being said, as the matriarch of this family within our industry, it's my job to keep things in order, and you are completely out of order. With Natalya by my side, I will now take a page out of the Iron Sheik's playbook and humble you soon enough. Based on Tamina's response, it looks like the WWE is using Twitter to turn up the heat on Natalya and Tamina's bid for the tag team gold. With any luck, Natalya and Tamina can get through another match with Jax and Baszler without getting potatoed. Next up, John Cena wants a match with an NXT superstar. As John Cena's Hollywood career continues to build momentum, the WWE Universe is beginning to wonder if the 16-time world champion is planning on retiring soon. Recently, a fan asked Cena who he should face in his retirement match, assuming he does retire in the near future, with current NXT champion Karrion Kross replying, "I would be honored and very ready." Kross is hopeful Cena would return for more than one match, tweeting, "Selfishly, I hope he comes back full-time." Cena then seemed interested in a match with Kross as he posted a photo of him on Instagram. The WWE continues to give Kross a strong push, and WrestleMania 38 would be a perfect setting for this clash of the Titans. If Kross's star continues rising, a match against Cena could be a dream match. But what do you think of this potential match between the two? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Ryback's wretched fail. Now it's time for another episode of When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong, featuring former WWE superstar and chronic critic Ryback. The big guy's recent efforts to connect with the fans led to an epic fail after he polled fans via Twitter, saying, "What promotion would you like to see me return to in 2021? The choices included AEW, NXT, Impact, and Retire, with 70% of respondents telling Ryback it was time to retire. Ryback has been talking of an in-ring return for years now, after dealing with various wrestling-related injuries. While this poll may not reflect any consensus of fans, it's still funny as hell, given Ryback's constant complaints about the WWE. There are only 2 days left to vote in Ryback's poll, so be sure to vote. Next up, WWE superstar fired for complaining. Now we know better than to try and figure out Vince McMahon's thinking process, but we never get tired of hearing any potential reasons for his decision making. Case in point, the recent releases of 10 superstars. During an episode of the Wrestling Observer Live, Dave Meltzer discussed 2 release wrestlers and the reasons for them being let go. There are people that they're not using in some cases. There are a couple of people that got cut because, how do I say it? I heard this about 2 different people. About one person was pouting that they were not on WrestleMania. That did not help them. Meltzer went on to describe another superstar's release saying, another person kinda complained about their booking. When you're a marginal talent that's not being used and you complain about it, it's not like you're a top guy, and that didn't help their cause either. That was some of it as far as whatever. They're all people that they're not using and they'll all be able to get work, whether it was names just coming off WWE. Sadly, Meltzer didn't name any of the names, which would have given fans a better grasp on the situation. But it kinda teaches those wrestlers, don't complain. Next up, Mickie decides what she wants to do next. What's next for Mickie James, one of the 10 superstars who was recently released? James teased fans with the following tweet about what's next, saying, "If you're wondering what I'm doing next, the answer is simple. Everything they said I couldn't." As we noted in our recent video on what's next for the recently released superstars, she could be a valuable addition to AEW or Impact. Indeed, Impact is reportedly looking to build up its women's division further, at least according to one recent report from Fightful Select. Impact has several new women being brought into the company over the next few weeks and months. Mickie's no-compete clause with the WWE will reportedly end in mid-July, so where do you think she'll land? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, the reason WWE released Samoa Joe. The WWE released 10 superstars recently, and while it wasn't as surprising to see such talent as Bo Dallas and Mojo Rawley feature endeavored in light of their lengthy absence from television, Samoa Joe's release caught many fans by surprise. Joe was an upper-card performer before a recent rash of injuries led him to working as a color commentator on Raw, and he seemed ready to return to the ring. However, Meltzer discussed the possible reason for Joe's release in the recent Observer. It becomes an interesting strategy because Joe in particular, if he's in good shape, because he's a star to the AEW fanbase and can talk, could be a valuable acquisition. But perhaps WWE believes with his age and injuries, he wouldn't be, similar to not competing to keep Jey Russo, aka Christian Cage. In addition, the question is how many people can AEW hire within its own budget? Now Meltzer brings up an important question, just how much room AEW has in its budget to bring in more WWE stars? At what point do they impose a spending freeze on hiring former WWE superstars? And finally, a WWE legend returning at SummerSlam? SummerSlam is the WWE's next big 4 pay-per-view, and fans could see the return of a WWE legend. 2-time Hall of Famer X-Pac tweeted about a past query from SmackDown superstar Sami Zayn about working a match, and a few healthy injury issues that needed addressing at the time. Now that I've taken care of them, there's always next SummerSlam if there's something people want to see. With talk of live fans being present for the biggest party of the summer, an X-Pac vs Sami Zayn bout could be an interesting addition. But there you have it folks, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.